Hey everybody, welcome to the Lunar Lowdown with me, Sally Nurney. This is the lowdown for the full moon of March 20th, which is indeed also the spring equinox. We have the sun standing at the vernal point at 5 degrees of Pisces, and the moon exactly across the way in 5 degrees of Virgo. We also have a few bonus planets. Pluto and the south node of the moon are together at the end of Sagittarius. When I dropped in with the star beings to find out what they wanted shared for this full moon of spring, I found myself immediately landing with a thump right into a field of flowers. They had beautiful yellow centers and white petals, indicative of the sun and its radiant expanse. After this point, all the days are getting longer, more sunshine, more beautiful light. I sat and waited, and sure enough, a guide showed up. It was the same skeleton guide that we saw in the last new moon. This time, this skeleton being was the masculine energy to match my feminine. He was beautifully adorned in a nice suit and a fancy hat, and he joined me in this field of flowers. And he extended his arm to me, and I rose, linked arms with him, and walked through the landscape of life re-emerging. Sacred union of masculine and feminine. Sacred union of equal day and equal night. Life and death in balance. Our own personal light and shadow in play. It is so important to not oversimplify and to remember that balance is not a static 50-50 thing. So equal day, equal night, light, dark. It's not about finding that static split. That's not the goal. We have to move into this. We have to feel this to know what it's trying to say. To show me this, the skeleton gentleman with whom I was walking embraced me in a dance and began to lead, and I was following. And for a moment, I felt a little inadequate myself. The skeleton man swept me back up into his arms, showing me that there is more to the beauty of expression than just words. We danced beautifully. We moved together. Within the dance, I felt the times where he was leading strongly and I could simply relax, being moved through in elegant patterns. And then the upswelling of desire and will force in myself when I began to lead the movement in a different rhythm and a different flow. And then back again over to him. This is the magic. This is the medicine that he was attempting to share with us. The real gem here is having access to both aspects of the self, the light and the shadow, the aggressive and the recessive, and be able to move between them like a dance, fluidly, without judgment. At this point, I could feel Pluto and the south node. Saturn is nearby too, but not super close. Pluto and Saturn are going to come exactly together in January 2020, a whole year away. I anticipate this threshold of 2020 to be one of global possibility, albeit a sober one. In other words, our shadow, personally and collectively. This full moon can begin our work with that threshold by highlighting the dynamic balance between our own masculine and feminine halves, our own masculine and feminine selves. What is their dynamic partnership? What is their flexibility? How easily do they hand the reins back and forth between one another? It's this flexibility and dexterity, this lithesomeness, this agility will be useful in a year's time. And then, with a final flourish and spin, he stepped away with a bow and receded over the horizon. My escort had been none other than the dark winter forces themselves. With this bow and flourish, he was surrendering over to the light portion of the year. I sat in my beautiful field of flowers, and I gave thanks for the shadow and dark that add depth to life, while simultaneously feeling it was so much easier to appreciate the dark while sitting amongst the flowers in the light. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.